In beginning our unit of probability, we're first going to talk about what it means when somebody says how likely is it that something's going to happen. So probability is usually measured on a scale from 0 to 1. And it's hard to understand what it is that 0 to 1 means on the probability scale. Because when you talk about probability, sometimes people say you have a 50% chance of something happening or a 100% chance of something happening. But 0 and 1 is not talking about the percentages, it's talking about the decimals. So between 0 and 1 on the number line, you have 0.5, you also have like 0.6, 0.6. Over here you have 0.2. So instead of saying that you have a 1 chance or a 0.6 chance, we usually express percentage or probability as a percentage. So we all understand that 0 would be a 0% chance, which is impossible. Then 0.2, move your decimal over 2 places to the right. This would be a 20% chance. 0.5, move your decimal 2 places to the right, and that's a 50% chance. 0.6, move your decimal 2 places to the right, and you have a 60% chance. And then when you get to the 1, your decimal's here on the right if you don't see it. Move your decimal 2 places to the right, add 2 zeros, and the 1 is talking about a 100% chance. So a 0% chance would be something like if you were sitting in a class of 24 students, what's the probability of pulling the President of the United States out of the classroom? Well, there's a 0% chance because the President of the United States is not sitting in your classroom. A 100% chance would be what is the probability of a student being pulled from your class if one person's going to be pulled out? Well, there's 24 students, so there's a 100% chance, not counting the teacher, that a student will be pulled out, and they call that certain. So 0 would be impossible, 100% would be certain. Right in the middle you have 50%, which means that it's equally likely as unlikely. So it's equally likely as it is unlikely, so this is equal. Anything below 50% or 0.5 would be unlikely, and anything between 0.5 and 1 or 50% and 100 would be likely. So let's try some examples. The freezing point of fresh water at sea level is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So we have fresh water being freezing at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the probability of fresh water freezing at 60 degrees? Well, fresh water won't freeze at 60 degrees. It's impossible for it to freeze. So there's a 0% chance, which is impossible. The next one, the weather forecaster says there's a 50% chance of rain today. What's the probability that it will rain? Well, there's a 50% chance, which means that it's equally likely or unlikely. It's exactly equal whether or not it's going to rain. So this would be equally likely or unlikely. Then the next one, what is the probability that the sun will rise every day? Well, every single day the sun rises. There's a 100% chance that the sun will rise. So on the likelihood scale, there's a 100% chance or a certain, it's absolutely certain that the sun will rise. Rolling a 7 on a number cube. On a number cube, you have, which is like a dice, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 sides numbered 1 through 6. So the probability of rolling a 7 on a number cube, there's a 0% chance out of 6. So just like on here, you have the decimal and you have the percent. You always start off with the fraction probability, and you'll learn this more in the next video. Probability always starts off with a fraction. So there's a 0 out of 6 chance that you'll roll a 7. 0 divided by 6 is 0, which is your decimal, and that's also your percent, 0%. And on the worksheets, you will have to go from a fraction to a decimal to a percent. Rolling a number on a number cube. How many numbers are in a number cube? So what is the probability of rolling a number, any number at all? Well, all 6 sides are made up of numbers, so there's a 6 out of 6 chance that you're going to roll a number. 6 divided by 6 is 1. There's that 1 here that's on the likelihood scale. It's the decimal. Then you're going to convert this to a percent. Move your decimal 2 places to the right, and you end up with 100%. So there's a 100% chance that if you roll a number cube, you'll actually roll a number. One that's not 0 or 100, let's just try what is the probability of rolling a 2. So what's the probability of rolling a 2 on a number cube? So the probability of rolling a 2 on a number cube, how many 2's are on the number cube? There's 1 2 on the number cube. So you have a 1 out of 6 chance, because there are 6 sides. 1 divided by 6 is 0.16 repeating. And if you change this to a percent, you end up with a 17% chance. And the reason I say 17% chance is because if this is repeating, this 6 makes that 7 round up. Or I'm sorry, this 6 makes this 6 round up to a 7. So we'll just say a 17% chance. So on the likelihood scale, how likely is this? This one here was a 0. This is impossible. It's impossible to roll a 7 on a number cube. This one, it's certain, which means it's absolutely positively going to happen. It's certain to roll a number on a number cube. And then 0.16 or 17%. Here's 0, impossible. Here's 1 or 100, which is certain. 0.17 would be about right here, which is about 17%. So it's unlikely that it will happen. That means it's not that it can't happen. It's just unlikely that it will happen. So it's unlikely that it will happen. And so we'll talk more about this likely or not likely on the next video.